Hello, you are all very welcome to Straight from the Horse's Mouth, the Pony Play podcast. My name is Kylian Denchornock, and I am your host and guide as we explore this vast world of play, kink, and community. With me today is the pony girl who calls herself the Old Gray Mare, although I can't imagine why. We'll talk about how they first got into pony play, where they've gone with it, and what they're doing now. Please join me in welcoming to the podcast Tindala. Tinny, how's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Thank
you for inviting me.
You are very welcome. For those of you just joining us, we've been talking for an hour before we decided to hit record. We are an hour in already. So welcome to the middle of the conversation, I guess. I don't know.
Or at least where we're going to start to focus.
Yeah, we're going to stop. We're going to stop shopping and actually start thinking. Funnily enough, this happens with us a lot when we hang out.
Yes.
We just start gabbing, and it's just like it doesn't end. It just never ends. So I'm sure there will be multiple episodes with you.
I inspire lots of conversation.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So before we get into our chosen topic for this episode, let's talk about your origin story. I think everybody loves to learn the lore of the ponies and kind of where they've come from. So how did you get started in pony play?
I was 2 when I was put on a horse.
Is that it?
No, seriously. Yeah, seriously. No, I'm that crazy horse girl from school that you remember on the playground who played pony instead of playing house. I really am not kidding. My mom, when I was 12, had to take me aside and tell me that young ladies do not play horsey anymore. And that was because we were tying ropes across the yard in my front yard and jumping them and rounding up my friends and, running stampedes and pony shows and whatnot. And that was in, the suburban neighborhoods of Silicon Valley.
Which is exactly where you would find a horse.
Exactly. Well, before that, I did live on a small farm in the middle of Idaho before that. But by the time I was 12, we were back in California. So, yeah, that was when Mom decided, it was time to grow up and be a young lady. And then about almost 20 years later, I'm sitting down with her in a copy of Rebecca Wilcox's book, The Human Horse. And we turn to a page near the front where there's this lovely painted purple pony. Yes, that would be the book. There's this lovely purple painted pony. And my mom stops me and says, "Please tell me you're not doing this naked in public." I said, "No, Mom, because that's illegal. I don't want to get an arrest ticket." And she's like, "I don't need to know anything more." So,
Wait.
Yes. There's a painted purple pony. It's not me.
Okay, I was about to say, I saw that page the other day, and I'm like...
It's not me. But it's like I showed her that one because my mom was like, because purple's been my color forever. She was not surprised by that. But that was the safest pony I could really show Mom in that book.
Really? That was the safest one?
Well, I mean, there's some in the back with Rowan and some of the other and Beauty doing their things and the gates and stuff, but towards the front of the book as I'm fanning through, it's one of the safer ones to show Mom to get started with. And that painted pony, well, yes, isn't necessarily clothed, but on first impression they are.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying. Yes, as I flipped through the book very quickly.
So and Mom was like, "Please tell me you're not doing this naked." I'm like, "No, Mom. Besides, my leather harness would chafe if I weren't naked in parades." And she goes, "Okay, I don't need to know anything more.
Yeah,
just be safe about it." And like I said, I was like in my early 30s at that point, late 20s, early 30s. And it was no surprise that I was still doing pony stuff as an adult, and still am doing pony stuff another 25-ish years later. In my middle 50s, God. Which is, and I've always been a gray pony, so this is why I'm now the old gray man.
Okay. Yes, that okay. The gray part, not the old part.
So Tindala's persona is actually a gray Andalusian.
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, longevity though, like, damn, for like a very physical activity to be able to do it for that long, seriously for that long. I mean, like, well done.
Well, yeah, and I am the pony that broke her arm doing pony play.
That's a fun story, and we should talk about that at some point. Because that is part of your backstory at this point. So
it certainly has. It's become almost legendary.
A little bit. So let's touch on that. The year was
2016. So it's, almost a decade. Actually, it's 9 years, 10 days ago, as I'm looking at calendar. I was at Equus NAPT, North American Pony and Trainer Contest, with my dearest friend, Trixie LaFontaine, and we were competing for North American Pony 2017. And it was the Friday night unofficial mixer. As in, unofficially, we were being judged for our community involvement. So how did we interact well with others?
Because this is a competition where you are judged from the moment you step in the room.
More than that, from the moment you hit the hotel. How do you literally interact with the contestants, with the public, with the guests who are part of the competition? It's very much a classic leather title competition. So, be prepared from the moment you get out of your car till even after the judging and awards are awarded. So that evening was Western Pony Play, and we were doing a Gymkhana obstacle course event. And because there are never enough handlers, I decided that I would be a handler for Clovis, who is a lovely gentleman pony from San Diego, who I've known for a decade or so.
Oh, Clovis is legendary.
Clovis is legendary. Clovis and I go back to when we did the San Diego Pride Parade, and pre-parade, he pulled me in my cart. And there are photos out there that say, "Pony play, you're doing it wrong," because I'm in a horse mask, which is very rare for me to be in a horse mask. Usually I'm an open face pony. And so I was thinking Clovis was going to be the stout workhorse pony going through the obstacle course like I knew him to be, but I had not realized his fitness level had improved recently. And the last hairpin turn of the obstacle course we were running, he bolted for the finish line, and I was not prepared for that. And my smooth-soled boots plus the hotel carpet were not a good mix. And I took a Superman fall, and I pegged my left arm into the floor of the hotel ballroom, which was carpet over concrete. I heard 2 snaps and immediately rolled over onto my back, cradling my left arm. Everybody comes running. They are all trying to tell me I sprained it. An impromptu splint is made out of an Amazon box and painter's tape. I am driven over to the local ER. They eventually get me in for x-rays. The x-ray team asked me, "How did you do this?" And I said, "I fell off a horse." And that's what they put on in the letters that they put on the x-ray. I fell off a horse. This is the third time now I've broken the same arm, the same bone in my, at that point, 30-something years of life. I take that back, 40-something years of life. Can't do math some days. And the x-ray comes out. It's a digital, thank goodness. So I'm able to take a photo of it. So I have it for posterity with the fell off horse on it. I broke the radius in 2 places. The distal near the wrist was a 90% break, and the mid radius was a full separation with a butterfly fracture. At the time, I was the head coach for the archery team at the University of Arizona, and I reached out to my faculty advisor for the team, who was the orthopedic surgeon and chair for orthopedic surgery at the University of Arizona. Lucky me. And said, "Hey, John, just did this while on vacation in LA." Didn't tell him what I did. 4 hours later, I get an email back going, "This is what you're going to do." And I was given the instructions on how to check into ER and tell them that, no, I'm not an ER patient. I am not an elective surgery patient either, but I am now a special case. And this particular surgeon will be fitting me in. And you're just going to do this under these orders. And they're like, okay. So I have surgical 2 plates, 12 screws in my left arm. So yeah, I'm now, I guess, the bionic pony.
Scooter versus sinks.
Yeah. So I'm the bionic female pony.
Okay, there we go.
Versus the $6 million pony. And so yeah.
But tell us how that weekend ended.
In person, I told John how I actually broke my arm, and he's like, "I knew you played hard, but damn." So yeah, it's been almost 10 years.
But tell us how the weekend ended, because
okay. So we get back. So they take the X-ray. They do an exothermic brace cast on the arm because they're not going to fix it there because it's a surgical and I'm out of state for my insurance. And they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to do this to you because it would be too expensive and you'll stay here, da 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 da." I'm like, okay. And so they sent me drugged up back to the hotel with a splint on. And I think it was about 3 a.m., 4 a.m. when we get back to the hotel. At 9 a.m., we were supposed to be in the judge's room doing interview questions for the North American Pony Trainer competition. And Trixie and I were sitting there in our hotel room at 9 a.m. going like, are we going to keep doing this or not? We were on the fence. It's like, I'm so drugged up, I don't care. We're here. They're not expecting me back in Tucson until Sunday night, Monday morning. Why the hell not? Let's just finish this. Mind you, there's more to this, the adventures of this story too, because before we even left Tucson, we had a flat tire. So in my car. So yeah, there's a lot this weekend had. We proceeded to finish the competition, and we somehow pulled off our performance. It wasn't what we were supposed to do. I was supposed to do cart dressage. I did not do cart dressage.
Nope, you can't do that with one arm.
Yeah, I could not pull a cart because I do rickshaw style pulling of cart instead of harnessed. I was also still rather drugged up. Mm-hmm. So we modified our routine significantly, but we still finished it. And when the judging was complete and the points all tallied up, the 4 teams that were there were, the point distribution was about 2.5 points from first to fourth.
Jeez.
And Miss Trixie and I walked away with the sashes. So I broke my arm in the process of winning North American Pony 2017, and no, that's not how I recommend you win it.
Fine.
because it took me 18 months to get full use of my left arm after that. So no, do not.
No.
I jacked my shoulders so hard that I'm a competitive archer as well as a coach. It took me 18 months to get back on the range. So yeah, I do not recommend breaking your arm in the process of winning a title.
Yeah, no thanks. As
Yeah.
an orchestra conductor
Do not
and
advise.
a novice archer who gets schooled every time I send you a video, no thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do have the credentials to go with this. I am a 2-time All-American, 2014 and 15. I'm a level 2 instructor with the USA Archery, and I'm a level 2 judge. So yes,
Yes.
yes, I do have the creds to go with that. So
Indeed. I was out arching. I was out shooting a couple last week for a work staff retreat thing, and you see in the foreground of the video are these people who are trying with children's bows, trying to figure out what the heck they're doing, and then there's just me with my horse bow in the background, just thunk,
thunk, thunk, thunk,
thunk,
yeah,
thunk, yeah, and I'm just like, the dichotomy of this is hilarious, but I know she's still gonna roast me because I haven't shot in 10 months since the last time I was there, so.
It wasn't that bad.
No, I just need to practice more, honestly. That's all it is.
I totally understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, so legendary. You are legendary in the pony world. Having been a title holder and winning it with a broken arm, and just one of the most memorable weekends in that competition's history, honestly. Because you don't hear much about it when everything goes right, But when something goes wrong, it is told across the board. Just everybody.
And it was rather epic.
Yes. This was before I was in pony play, and I'm pretty sure I heard about it at some point.
Yeah. I know the story's been out there. I've not really been interviewed like this about it before, but yeah, because immediately following our win, we went to, I'm trying to remember which was first, whether it was Folsom Street Fair in San Francisco or if it was Oakland Pride. They were real close to each other in the schedule, and I was still in obviously a sling and post-op and whatnot, and because I know in the Folsom Street Fair photos of us on the stage when Trixie and I were announced as the new title, when they do the title holder parade and presentation of all the title holders present at Folsom, you can still see my arm is wrapped in ace bandages and I'm in a sling and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And I know the few pictures that are out there from the Oakland, California Pride Parade, I was still in a sling because she hand walked me there. And then I think it's the next spring, we did Detroit and Denver, which I wasn't in a sling, but we just hand walked me because I didn't have a cart, because we weren't, no way we were traveling that far with a cart from Tucson. And then we hand walked the Tucson Pride Parade, and I'm blanking where else we went, because that was a year. That was a long year.
And that's what happens when you get a title that requires you to travel
and
represent.
You do a lot of travel. You do a lot of Q&A. You go to events. Our thing was parades, and our focus was on pony play at any size, basically, and any ability. And ironically, we demonstrated that in full force.
Some would even say it was planned.
God, no. I did not want to be out of archery for 18 months.
No.
It was not the time to be out. I really wanted to be competing those 2 years, but yeah.
Yeah. So a very storied background.
Mm-hmm.
Were there any other kinks that pulled you into pony play, or is it just kind of like this is where it started and things developed from there?
Well, the fact that I've always been horsey, okay. So the adult pony play side of things, um, I got pulled into that because of Pony Master Michael, who's a longtime friend of mine, and he was more into the spicy side of the pony play and more the bedroom pony play stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I branched him out of the bedroom into exhibition and sort of public play. He actually took my reins in my cart at Christopher Street, Los Angeles parade one year, which was way out of his comfort zone. He did not like to be that public about things. But he also had a little bit of a dandy narcissist side that I pandered to. So I got him a top hat and white jodhpurs, and I dolled him up, and he looked really damn good, and he enjoyed that. So, sometimes you have to work your partner's buttons to get what you want, even when you are the bottom.
Yes. What was it? What was it? Topping from the bottom. Is that how you?
Topping from the bottom.
Topping from the bottom.
Which is a really good mystery novel, if you can find it. Just saying.
I'm learning so much about erotica and literature from these interviews because Tromp was telling me about. Oh gosh, I can't remember his name now, but I have him bookmarked. I need to go read. Just learning so much about different people that I need to go find.
Yeah.
Get accustomed to.
The diversity of experiences and interests that interweave through the pony community, it's kind of the melting pot, if you will, of all the different kinks. So Pony Master Michael's thing was bedroom spicy pony play. Before that, I had a boyfriend who was interested in tie me up, tie me down type things. So light bondage. I liked thuddy play. But I don't like stingy play. So I was never really fond of whips, and I'm still not fond of whips on the receiving end. But give me a good flogging any day. I'll stand there forever because it's a massage to me. And so my other kinks don't really cross over to pony play that much. I enjoy wax play, typically as a bottom. Ironically, as a kid, during blackouts, my mom was the guilty one for bringing out the candles, and we'd play with the melted wax and at the kitchen table. So I don't know if there was something there that my mom never told me about, or if it was just because it was fun and cool and it was like modeling clay type for her. I don't know.
Well, you know what they say, kinks get passed down.
It's possible.
I don't want to think about it, but apparently that's how it works.
Well, and my dad's a sparky. If you don't know the term, it's slang for an electrician. So, yeah, I am not a big fan of electrical play because I know what it can do to you. So yeah. But I'm fascinated by a lot of things. Ropes. I don't mind being a rope bottom. But I'm all about sensation play, and I think a lot of that goes back to being horsey and both the horsey girl and having a horse and grooming and that touch and feel of the horse and the smells and the leathers and the ropes and just all the sensory experience you get around that being so comforting to me that any other kind of sensation and sensory play is very comforting to me. So that's where my kinks become more therapeutic than spicy, so to speak.
Rye had a great quote, and it's BDSM is cheaper than therapy, but pony play isn't.
Oh, hell yes.
right?
Absolutely.
And it's just like,
Absolutely. But I can do pony play on the cheap.
yes, you can. And man, have I told your stories about that. Um,
Let's see. My cheapest is absolutely using nothing because you can do mind over matter.
uh-huh.
As a kid, it was a pencil and yarn for my bridle bit and my bridle and reins. And I still carry that over to popsicle sticks and yarn because tongue depressors, popsicle sticks, those are easy to come by. Either eat your ice cream first,
Anything that puts a little
or go buy the
pressure,
craft pieces.
anything that you can put a little pressure on the sides of the mouth,
Yeah,
that's all it
anything to
takes.
bite on.
Yeah.
Anything to bite on, anything that won't flex when you tie the string to it. And you don't even have to tie it around the head, just as long as something you can bite onto and hold onto as a pony. As the trainer, it's something that you know that if you pull back on it, they will feel it. And it doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be a big spacer bar. It can be if that's your thing and you want your pony to drool all day. Please don't make me drool. Um, um, but I and also how fine tuned do you want your pony to be? Do you want them as responsive as a race car? So you barely flick a finger and they feel it on the rein? Or do you want them to be a little hard mouthed like a mule or a big hard draft horse and you have to haul for them to know that, really, I did mean turn or I did mean whoa. So, choosing the bit, whatever you're using as a bit, food grade tubing. If you're a brewmaster, you've got that around. You can use that as a bit. Don't tell my ex-husband. Here's a home brewer. I borrowed things.
Borrowed in air quotes.
Yeah. He didn't miss 5 inches of tubing. He really did. Trixie and I, when we were trying to put together a, pony play on a budget, we gave ourselves a budget of like $30 and we went to the Dollar Tree and like, what can we find? And the particular Dollar Tree we were at, for some dumb reason, had golf club covers. Not just any golf club covers, but woods. And if you're a golfer, that's the big club, the big massive club, which happens to be about the size of your fist.
Perfect.
And if it's a padded cover and it's got a nice knitted sleeve, it is a perfect hoof boot, forehand hoof boot. So they happen to have 2 of them there for $1.25 because of the Dollar Tree. So we bought those, and yeah, they're red and white. And they say Wilton on them, but who cares? Because you can fix that.
Right.
Either with, another sock to cover over it for color, or, fluffy fur wrapped around and stitched in place, or paint. There's so many ways to solve that. But it was like, how many garage sales have golf clubs for sale these days? Probably more than you think.
Oh, yeah.
And you could probably find golf club covers for the woods. And if you get 2 of them, you've got 4 your front feet. So that was one of the cheapest, silliest out of the box ideas we had come up with for, expanding and buying unusual things. And then yarn is a go-to because you can use it for everything from reins. You can tie it and braid it for manes and tails. You can brush it out for manes and tails. In fact, I know there's crafters who do brushed out yarn for furry costume or inexpensive furry costume, the beginner costumes, if you will, for animal tails. And then you can have any color you want. And then straws are another solution for bits, as well as helpful if you're wearing a bit and you need to drink, hydration is good. Ribbon, Dollar Tree's always got ribbon and sewing needles and thread, and you can use that to craft yourself a basic bridle, tack that into place. So yeah, we came up with like 4 or 5 different pony ensembles with that $30 at Dollar Tree. and then go to the flower crafting department. You can make yourself a pretty pony. Buy the fake flowers, and now you've got your pretty show pony or your parade pony.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't take much. Just some creativity is all it is.
Yep.
And that's because it's play. It is play.
It is. It's totally play. And it's the energy of the two people involved or more people involved, because it could be a team. It could be 2 trainers, 2 horses. It could be 2 trainers, 1 horse. It could be 2 trainers, 1 horse. 2 horses, 1 trainer. It could be a set of 4. And that's just taking it and just being serious about being ponies and doing pony things without going into the spicy side.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and then that's a whole topic unto itself. There's, all the different scenes you can do in pony play. I love doing a presentation on everything you can do with a bio horse, you can do with a human pony, and then some, because the human pony can consent. And I let you stop and think about that. And then the audience goes, oh, I'm like, yes,
yeah.
Those taboo topics you can't do with bio animals, I can consent to those taboo topics. Because they're not taboo. They're simulated. Mm-hmm. They're fantasy. They're play when we do them.
Yes.
And like I said, that's a whole other show. That's an after dark show.
On season 2. Hey, actually, this podcast is explicit. And so...
Oh, yeah.
That's another episode. Like I said, you're going to be on here for multiple episodes, so it's not a big deal.
Oh, I'm sure. You know how to get a hold of me.
Carrier pigeon, usually. But yeah. So back to the outline that I sent you.
Where are we on that?
Second question. So how do you participate in play now? What does your average scene look like? And you can talk about both sides. I'm more of a
consultant. I'm the old gray mare.
Honestly.
Sadly, I currently don't have a permanent pony partner, play partner. I do not have a handler.
Life.
Oh, no. Yeah, I do not have a trainer in my life right now. Miss Trixie and I are still amazing, good best friends. She's my Sash sister. She's in Tucson living her life. I am out here in West Virginia living my life. We touch base and check in on each other as needed, and even when it's not needed. But when we're platonic good friends, we were never partners per se. But I tend to take on more of, this is where switch comes into my conversation. This is about the only time I talk about being a switch in my life. There aren't enough trainers in pony play. And so everybody who seems to show up seems to want to be a pony. And it's so much easier when there's an extra trainer around or somebody who's willing to do that role or mentoring. So I've become the old gray mare. I mentor, I advise, I guide. I don't get as much time behind the bit as I'd like to, or deep into pony space as I'd like to. I spend a significant amount of time making certain that ponies are being their best pony, or getting an opportunity to try out being a pony, or trying out to be a trainer, or ride a cart with a pony. When we have guests come to events who are just spectating, and you can get the feel that it's like, ooh, I'd like to try that. And so I approach them and say, do you want to try that? Would you like to sit in the cart and take the ride? I mean, it's just like getting a rickshaw ride, except for we're now doing it in costume and theme. And that usually breaks the barrier for some people to get in the cart and take the reins. And hopefully that brings them back or takes them somewhere else, and they aren't afraid to try again. or explore with somebody else at home. So I guess, yeah, educator, trainer, switch. I miss being a part of a partnership or a team and having my own trainer who will, put me in cross ties and groom me and tack me up and take me to a parade and let me pull the cart and be my best pony. But I also haven't been my best pony for a couple of years. Getting back into my pony shape, breaking my arm kind of impacted me, and then moving cross country and doing my MBA and a few other life things got in the way.
Life got busy.
Life got very, very busy, and now I'm taking control of my health and preparing myself for parade season again. It's taken a little longer to get there, but I'm also 10 years older than I was, and yeah, damn it. 10 years older does really mean your body's not what it was when you were 20, 30, 40, even 4 years ago when I was 50. I'm 54, and most people forget that when they see me.
Yeah, I know I do. It's very true. I forget. I'm just like, no, there's no way. No. She's my age. There's no way.
It didn't hurt or help that when I went back to finish my bachelor's degree in my 40s, that all my classmates were 20 years younger than me, and I was the same age as their parents. So hanging out with them and with my purple hair at the time, totally adjusted both my sensibilities and their opinion of me, and they never placed me in my 40s when I graduated with my bachelor's. So yeah.
That helps. Being people you surround yourself to age you appropriately.
Yeah.
Right. You said something brilliant about. Now I'm trying to remember it. Shit. You said something brilliant about there never being enough handlers, which is absolutely true. And I know this because you and I belong to the same herd. And you have handled me many a time because there are not enough handlers in this world. And I think that there is such a huge benefit to the pony when they have had some experience being a handler as well.
Yes, and vice versa, to be honest. When Pony Master Michael and I got started, the first thing I made him do before we really got aggressively active, when we thought we would compete in one of the shows that the LA Pony and Critter Club was doing, was I made him try my bit and feel what it was like when I was pulling the reins on his mouth, because he did have that $10,000 mouth that I've joked about in the past. Anybody who plays who wears a metal bit and plays aggressively as a pony, I always advise them to think twice about that and take advantage of a rather inexpensive product called Seal Tech, which is an actual equine product. It's a latex, non-flavored bit wrap that you can put on a metal bit, and it will save your teeth in case you fall. I'd much rather see a pony do that than tell me later that they broke a tooth or more. I am currently in the middle of doing several $1,000s worth of work on my own teeth for the first time in my life. So I am now more cognizant of the nylon bits, the rubber bits, putting my seal tacks on, not chewing it off like I normally do when I'm in pony space. But at the same time, so with Pony Master Michael, I wanted him to know that if he pulled really hard, it was actually going to hurt. And it would be counterproductive in how I was going to react to that. And so, yes, being aware of how your gear works both ways, on both ends of the reins, if you will, is important, or both ends of the crop, knowing how that crop feels both on skin, through a cat suit, through jeans, what are you wearing as a pony? Because it stings differently when it's on skin or a cat suit or through jeans.
Absolutely.
It has very much different feels. And denim will always deaden all of those feelings. So if you can't feel it, you know you're going to get hit a little harder if you're not going fast enough, if you're in denim that day. So being aware of those sensations, definitely both sides of the reins, absolutely is something I think is important. If you're going to get very serious, especially if you're going to be a competitive type pony and trainer.
Yeah.
Sorry, I took that somewhere probably different than you thought it was going.
Not really, though. Actually, that's kind of exactly what I was thinking about. Because I say the same thing to non-pony players who are just looking for dominant and subdominant, submissive roles in playing, and I'm just like, anytime I meet a new dom, I'm just like, so like, what experience do you have being a sub? Like, especially those who, like, we've all had to train handlers from the bottom, as like you keep saying, topping from the bottom. We've all had to do this. It's literally
and horses do top us from the bottom when you're in the bio world. Absolutely.
Like, you are pushing around an animal that is, 10 times your size and can crush you. And part of the reason, or one of the things I've done for that, having to train so many dominants on pony play and figuring that out, is, I did make that like quick start guide. It's like a 5-page Google Doc that I'm just like, okay, well, here's the link to this. Read this, then come back to me. Like, is this something that actually you want to do? Is this something you want to experience? Is this something you want to try? Because there's so many different pieces to it, but also someone who is open to trying new things and making sure that they experience all aspects of it is such a green flag.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely a green flag for me too. And I've had conversations with people over the years since Pony Master Michael, where it was a green flag in conversation, but in reality, as we started to explore things, it was obvious it was all talk, and reality was not even close. That, once they started to see what it was really about, and after even the kindergarten level of exposure, they were like, yeah, no, this is way deeper than I thought it was going to be, or more intense. And they're like, yeah, this is too much for me. Whether it's pony play, flogging, wax, ropes. I was like, okay, I appreciate you realizing and knowing yourself that this is too much. This is definitely my world. If you can't play in this world, don't want to learn more about this world, then I don't think we get to play together. Because I don't feel safe if you don't want to learn more about this world.
Yeah, exactly. Changing gears a little bit, moving into another. We're moving down the list here. Moving into the meat of the. Well, I can't say the meat of the conversation. We're 45 minutes in. But
somebody's tracking. I'm not.
Well, in reality, the recording is at an hour and a half already, but we started at 45 minutes in reality. So someone has to time this, but.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. There's no time limit. All of this is going in. You identify more as a pony girl than a pony.
Yes, I do.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. So, in pony play community, we've got those who participate and feel that they must have a hood or some other facial covering to make them feel more horse-like. And they are really taking on that horse persona. I consider myself a pony girl, and I will wear a bridle and an extended mane when my hair is not long enough to do so. Sometimes even when my hair is long enough, I'll wear an extended mane. But I will be an open face in my bridle, so you'll see my human self. And I believe some of that goes back to Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty series, where Beauty is made to be a pony. And some of that goes to the House of Gore videos over the years, where the girls are all done up as ponies, but are open face and amazing makeup and gorgeous. While my physique does not match theirs, I'm much more stout, like the Andalusian, like I want to be. I do find that in expressing myself, I am horsey. I mean, I've been horsey since I was 2. And they put me on a horse. I would neigh when we were on the farm in Idaho. I'd neigh to the horses in the pasture next to our farm, and the foals would come up to me like I was one of them. So I've never really felt like I needed to have a hood to help present that energy, that horsey energy, because I felt I was already the horse energy, if you will. At the same time, I'm still a human that's channeling that energy. So I guess you could almost say it's like I'm channeling a spirit animal, a totem, without taking on the full costume. A friend of mine is part of the Cherokee tribe, and she's a Cherokee elder, like big E, not a little e. And she saw that in me before I even told her. She's like, you have a lot of horse energy about you. I'm like, well, okay. Funny you should say that. And I've been told by people that I walk like a horse, even when not in gear or anything, just the way I step out, toe first instead of heel first. And that goes back to when I was a kid and had short Achilles tendons and I walked on my toes. Sometimes Mother Nature knows more than I do. So yeah, I just feel more like myself in a bridle and mane and open face and a cat suit, preferably. So I at least get some sort of skin color closer to my gray mare self. And the tail on the harness belt. And my my sexual play is very much pony girl. So it's sexy time with the girl who is a pony, not a horse. Even though I talk about the taboos of simulated bestiality, if you will. Because we can do that in any of the animal role plays. Because, again, your animal is human and is consenting. So, so yeah, that's why I consider myself more of a pony girl, because I'm obviously got a girl figure,
right?
And you're seeing the human side, who is definitely acting like a horse.
So
and is choosing to act like a horse.
Right. So then it's still role play though for you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's still role play most of the time. There are times where the headspace I will get into really deep pony headspace, where I get very, very horsey. But that's because there's a level of trust that I've and bonding that I have with the person or persons I'm with, that I can it's escapism. And that's where I go into, this is therapy land. Because the pony half of me doesn't pay the bills, doesn't have to worry about whether the lights stay on or not, doesn't have to go to the job tomorrow morning. The pony side of me, somebody else is making certain I've got food and water and that I'm clothed appropriately for the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I just get to be horsey-like in a human body.
Yeah. Yeah. You're taking a vacation from the human side
from
of life.
reality.
Exactly.
And our reality is kind of twisted right now.
Suspending disbelief for just a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah.
It's therapy. It's play. Versus, the being in a dynamic where I'm being forced to be a pony. And I've not really been in that role, but I know others who want to be that role. They want to be human, made to do pony stuff, which is the forced pony play that some people talk about and wonder, what's that like? And it's like, well, you become a beast of burden in most cases.
Right. And that's what we've seen through history is that's kind of like, that's always been the erotic side of pony play that we see more and more compared to other forms, and definitely more than the non-erotic form of pony play that we see.
Right. And that's where the Anne Rice's Sleeping Beauty is more of that erotic. She's forced to be a pony.
Right.
I want to say it was Michael Borkoff. We were discussing this in messaging earlier, and I may have the author/artist wrong in my mind, who was known for his pony girl art and the stories that went with it. Mm-hmm. They were all cases of coercion, forced play, locked in a barn, the next morning, forced bit, tail insertion type thing. Mm-hmm. Super fantasy as in, surgical modification to have the tail, mounted on the back type things. Oh yeah, these are some crazy short stories out there.
Yeah, we've all read them.
I would say late 80s, early 90s, early internet, if you will. Comes with the territory of being the old grandmare. Not quite the crazy stuff that Elf Sternberg wrote in the early days of Rec Arts SF Sucks, I think it was. I'm trying to remember which Newsnet group it was in, but where Elf started his stuff. But yeah. And that was more anthropomorphic than, cake and animal play. Yes, some more stuff to go find and read.
I already have a list of books or a pile of books I haven't touched over there on that shelf, and now we're just adding all the digital stuff now too.
All the stuff may not even be published. It may be still like Usenet level of searching because it was. Man. Yeah, it's old. It's out there. I know it's out there still. I haven't gone looking for it recently, but I was reading it in the early 90s. On a Win 3X machine, to give you an idea how long ago it was.
Actually,
at work.
That actually sounds like a really good project for somebody, is to go hunt all that stuff down, digitize it, and find a home for it so it doesn't get lost.
Yes, so that we can find it again.
Yeah, because what's the magazine that the collections keep getting passed around?
Equus Eroticus for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not published anymore. And
no,
it's just collections kind of getting passed around as people purchase them.
And the few copies that are still out there, when they show up, people are paying good money for it. But yeah, and physical magazines are, I'm not going to say a dying breed, but are becoming that.
Yeah.
Because it's just getting impractical and too expensive, and we'll just postage. So especially on small press type niche press. So yeah,
absolutely.
Online is probably the next step for that. Okay. My little ADHD brain lost the train of thought of where we were. Forced pony play. So yeah, Beast of Burden, logging, pulling carts, the farm pony, if you will, plowing fields. If you didn't have a horse, how did you plow your field? You self-plowed, basically. So, yeah. I mean, there's actual, but was that actually pony play or oxen play, if you will? At the time, no, but it could have become, or it could have led to, fantasies.
Right. Exactly. And that's kind of where everything stems from, really.
Mm-hmm.
And then at what point does it become an erotic fantasy? And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where most forced, like I said, where most forced pony play comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Comes into play now.
Yeah.
Is it is an erotic action that's taking the control away from someone else, and
Right.
while they're still human,
Mm-hmm.
they are being forced into the role of horse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and in a previous episode, in one of the deep dives that has been recorded that should be released by now, I talk about this, and I also just like I go like, while part of me is like interested in that to an extent, it's not my core version of play.
Right.
Right.
And I have a hard time associating with that.
Yeah.
Because it's not my core. I all of my kink relationships since Pony Master Michael have been negotiated, chosen, things we both want to explore, or we both have previously explored, but we haven't explored together with each other as new partners. And so, and I am very much like I said, I love sensation play. And so that's where, for me, the pony play comes into it, because you've got the smell of the leather and the grooming products, the sensation of being groomed from the brushes and with terry cloth and whatnot, the sounds, if you even want to go that route. There's so many soundtracks. In fact, I had someone gift me one time a collection of sound clips of Sounds Around the Barn. I think it was the name of the CD. And so it was like the sound of hay being tossed into a stall, and the sound of clinking chains, and the stomping of horse hooves, and just all the different ambient sounds you hear in a barn, and a whole bunch of tracks that I just played in loop while we were playing. So I just kind of had the audible experience as well. And then, because I'm obviously very creative and visually stimulated, we either would put something on the TV, without the sound, or in reverse, we'd take away my sight and do blindfolded, and I'd get in my head, because I'm very visual in my head at times, and I would visualize what was happening to me, but I was visualizing myself as a horse, having it all done to me. And so and feeling the sensation and whatnot, and feeling like I am that full four-legged body, even though I'm a two-legged standing up human, and the like. So yeah, there's so many ways you can really dive into it. I know that there's a lot to be said for the actual physical touch between people to begin with, how therapeutic and necessary it is to feel like we are alive these days. And so I spend a lot of time and you've experienced this, I spend a lot of hands-on time with my pony when I'm in trainer mode, demonstrating whatnot. So that way they know that I'm there. So you don't kick me, then I surprise you like a real horse would. Like I would expect you to. If I surprise you, I'd expect you to kick me. I was like, whoa, surprise. So I'm very hands-on. I'm on this side of you. I'm on that side of you, especially if you're really getting eyes closed into your headspace and you don't really know where I've moved to, because I'm going back and forth to your left side, your right side, your front, your back. But I know that touch, and that it receiving that touch is so much different than giving that touch. There's an energy that transfers, and that might get a little woo, if you will. But at the same time, it really does transfer. I mean, there's science and studies about it, of how therapeutic a hug is, And this is kind of like a hug in a way between two people who are in a scene. It's might be one-sided, but it's still there. And I know there's appreciation by the ponies I've worked with. I know you've experienced it. I know Pi has received, I've given Pi, massages after play because he's pulled a cart for an hour.
Frickin' Pi. I love him.
I've done a little bit with Sinks, from the herd. And it's one way to say thank you to the pony for doing a good job and doing that work. And as a pony, receiving that thank you is a reward more than a sugar cube or M&Ms or grapes or carrots or whatever you put in your palm and I eat from your hand.
Yes, and I would go as far to say that I don't think human ponies are as, and this is controversial, I don't think we're as food driven as real horses, as bio horses. I think we are more connection driven. And I think that touch is part of creating and building that connection between two people, because pony play is so much about a partnership between a team that's working together.
Oh, absolutely. And I totally agree with that, because I feel so disconnected. I jokingly say I'm the rental pony right now for the Red Barn, which is my local home community.
I'm the stable horse that all the kids rent out when they need to have a lesson.
I am borrowed by everybody, but owned by nobody.
Yep, exactly.
And I miss being, in essence, owned. So yes, in a weird way, that it's a small advertisement. I am available, but at the same time, I am really, really picky, and I have the right to be.
We are the same. It's terrifying almost. I was going to say though before, I also think that touch is so inherently needed as people, as humans. My therapist gets hard off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And he would place human touch and intimacy and just straight up sex at the base of the pyramid, because it is a human need to have connection.
Yes.
I love the idea of having a soundtrack, of having a soundscape, if you will, as the musician, audio file person that I am. For me, because my life is so fantasy based, and when I say that, way too many video games in my life. Shut up. It's too many video games in my life. I will literally put on from The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, you can find videos of people just riding their horse all the way across the map, right? Which will take hours. And just the soundscape of the hooves on the ground and the background music and everything that totally works for me. And I also love the idea of, because things are so visual, I'm just looking at my setup over here in my apartment that I have for cross ties, and I'm just thinking oh, I should totally have a full length mirror on that wall across from that, so I can actually see what's happening, because just like you, I am so visually that's what drives me so much. That being able to, not because I want to know where they are, but just to be able to watch the scene as well while it's happening, because otherwise I'm going to get bored. And then I'm going to start acting out and just, messing with the handler because it's fun. And then nothing gets done.
Especially when you have a dynamic that, you can play.
Right.
And it's part of your personality coming out.
Yeah.
That, the jokester slips out.
And you don't get to see yourself in your horse form all that often. At the Crucible when we're playing, you will see me catch glimpses of myself in the mirrors that are around, and just stare and just look almost like a horse would in a mirror, seeing themselves for the first time. And it's just oh right, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. And so it's just like adding that into that scene and into that play. I don't know why I haven't thought of that before.
It's kind of like when you're an actor taking on a character in a full, either a full makeup and a full costume that totally changes you from you.
Mm-hmm.
Fursuiters have a similar situation where, once they're in the full costume, I mean, they can see their fursuit sitting on the side and have an idea of what they're going to look like in it. But when you do like a full prosthetic makeup situation or something to that effect, because I also have a little bit of background in there as a costumer in the sci-fi world, sci-fi convention world, I should say. Not knowing what I look like, to know how others perceive me, to know,
Mm-hmm.
is this expression coming across the way I intended it to? Is the expression that I'm trying to be welcoming appearing like it's welcoming versus like, oh, that's a cranky, pony. I don't want to go near that pony. And it's like, that's not what I intended with my face. Oops, let me try again.
Right.
Like, because and that's the challenge when you have a big bit in your mouth. Are you smiling, or are you not growling, but depending on how big the bit is, your teeth are bared.
Are you trying to channel the drool away from your face so it
Right.
goes
Yeah.
down?
Are you slurping, and are you trying to be friendly? Is there a smile in that face, or is that bared teeth because you're trying to bite somebody?
Because let's be honest, under that hood, it is just like deadpan for me.
Yeah.
It's just like
you have no idea.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So having the mirror and having an idea of how is your posture being seen? How are you being read?
Mm-hmm.
Or video, if you're going to take it really deep into it, have somebody videotape you at home and play it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to, especially if you're doing a performance, if you're a performance pony and, you're doing a dressage or a thematic show routine of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
it's valuable to record yourself and your trainer and play it back and like, okay, well, I might have gotten the steps right. Did I get the energy right? Did I get my, persona right? My persona right?
Right. And to put that in the context, every professional musician does that. Like, this is how we study. Like, I have hard drives filled with rehearsal footage and concert footage of myself working, because that's how you learn. Because when you're in the moment, you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on the outcome of what you're doing. So you're then not able to like really like sit there and study and think about it in the moment. You're so focused on the task at hand that you can't reflect. So video
having a background in speech communications and radio broadcasting, I understand that too, because in radio, nobody sees you. You just hear yourself. So you have no idea what you look like when you're talking. And so seeing yourself on camera, or in this case, myself in the little thumbnail in the corner, it's like, oh yeah, I am,
and I'm using way more facial expression because of that right now than I usually do.
Smiling versus the deep scowling frown, thinking this through, type thing. Like, I want to be perceived as, friendly and welcoming versus, you're taught to, if you want to be seen as friendly and welcoming, you speak with a smile. So you carry it through by smiling all the time when you're talking. So yeah. And that's way outside.
And we have gone off the rails again. Let's get back on the path, shall we?
Yeah.
The
old gray mare has a lot of different experiences and skills.
And this is where we put in a musical break to transition, because there's no way. Right. So I'm asking everyone these two questions. So the questions are, how has your play changed over time? And you did talk about this a little bit as you've kind of moved into educator and consultant almost. And has any of it influenced your everyday life? Which the answer is yes. I already know the answer to that.
Okay. well, being horsey in general since the dawn of time. My pony play has changed over time. I have definitely become extremely cautious. Breaking your arm will do that. Breaking your arm as badly as I did.
The fact that you
don't break it again.
The fact you weren't sent to the glue factory is just beyond all of us.
I wasn't sent to the glue factory. No, I was hearing part of Rye's interview earlier today.
I just had a terrible idea for a field trip for the herd. Let's go find a glue factory. Let's go out to Delaware and go see DuPont.
I was going to say, don't tempt me with a good time.
I'm writing that down. We're doing this field trip.
We'll come up with... I'm not going to say I probably know somebody there, but I probably do from my vanilla world. Not quite hold my apple cider, but remind me of that when we're done.
Okay.
I'll reach out in my circle. Seriously, in my circle of friends, if I don't know somebody first degree, I may know somebody second degree at DuPont.
Jesus. Okay.
I know. That's what you get with me. So basically, I would say I play significantly more conservatively. I am the caution pony nowadays. I look at and assess play arenas and whatnot and shake my head when y'all want to do hurdles over concrete. And I'm like, no, please don't.
Nope. I'm not jumping.
Tough. Yeah, I even at 44, I wasn't doing it. I'm my other persona is a zebra, and my zebra would just knock over the hurdles.
Wait, that's an option? Can I do that? Can I do that? Can I just do that for the obstacle course? Can I just screw this? Just hit I would lose.
If that okay, as the zebra who did that at Sin in the City, it was intentionally scheduled to be the last pony to go through the course because we were striking the course for
afterwards.
The next thing.
Right.
So I was the demolition zebra coming through. So yes, you plan ahead. You make certain they know they're putting you last, so you don't have to rebuild everything for the next pony to come behind you to jump.
Fair enough.
This is play nice with the producer.
That will score you extra points.
Just saying.
Heard.
Whether it's the producer of the contest or producer of a show or for fun or whatever. Okay. Has it influenced my everyday life? Okay, so I'm just being a horse crazy girl. I wanted to be a jockey in kindergarten. There are pictures my mother saved that I drew when kids are asked, draw your occupation that you want to be. I drew myself riding a horse in kindergarten and wrote jockey. I wanted to be Alex from the Black Stallion. I wanted to ride my Black Stallion in a race and be the winning jockey. I say that as a 5'10", not 110-pound woman anymore. I hit 5'10" at the age of 13, and jockey was no longer a choice. Yeah, I got tall fast. The weight came on later. I then wanted to be a racetrack vet. I didn't have the grades to get into vet school. I have since worked in the horse racing community and have gotten a bachelor's degree in horse racing. So has it influenced my everyday life? Yes, it has.
Quite a lot.
Do people at work know this? A couple. Do people know this that I don't know this? Probably, because like I said, I don't pony in a mask. I really have. The only time I did was while I was still married in San Diego, and that was out of respect for my ex-husband, because he had issues. So I was like, fine, I'll wear a mask in San Diego, where at the Pride Parade, odds are none of your friends are going to be anyway. So whatever. So yes, I work in the horse racing community. And have in one way or another since about 2006 have made my income through horse racing one way or another.
So a resounding yes. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. Good. Yeah.
So that sort of answers number 2.
Yeah. And then here's the third question. That's
Okay.
Yeah. So I say this every week. I started this podcast because part of me was kind of fucking pissed. Every week more, it gets more and more vulgar. I was kind of fucking pissed that the only kink podcast out there that's really well known and people are drawn to all the time. Not that I ever think that this is going to be a well known podcast, but I want the resources out there.
Right.
The only kink podcast I could find is put together by two folks who are porn stars and live in a sub-dominant relationship 100% of the time. And that's not real life.
No, it's not.
So I wanted to ask, what's daily life like for you?
I'm a divorcee. I work a traditional government job for the time being. Mm-hmm. We'll see how long. And that's a Monday through Friday, punch the clock type thing. I come home. I live in half of the Golden Girls house. I have a roommate, and she and I have been roommates now for almost 5 years. And I take that back. Correction, almost 6 years. We became roommates before COVID. We survived COVID in Tucson. And when I moved out here and found a house big enough, more than big enough for just me and my cats, I said, we got along so well. If you want to move out here, I'm okay with us still being roommates if you're okay with still being a roommate with me. So I am very much a combination of Blanche and Dorothy. She's very much the combination of Rose and Ma.
Oh, Sophia. Picture Sicily, 1928.
Given we are about 18 years apart, so she's like my big sister or my aunt, if you will. And while we are similar in a lot of ways of how we treat the world, we are very polar opposite when it comes to subject matters like we are talking today. She is the antithesis of kink. So she's aware. She doesn't want to know anymore, and I give her props for knowing her limits. So that's kind of the weirdness we live in. And otherwise I'm the crazy cat lady with 4 cats. I used to have 5. Bless little Ember's soul. She was 15 when I lost her a couple months ago. It's the daily grind right now, unfortunately, in the world we live in. It's like not make enough money, pay the bills, figure out how I'm going to pay the rest of them. Yeah. Go back and do it all again in 2 weeks.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got a sister. I've got 2 parents, I should say, mom and a dad. Unfortunately, I'm old enough that I'm dealing with end of life with one of my parents right now. So, pony play for me right at the moment is kind of that escapism for my mental health. And my therapist, since we're talking about therapists, understands that. And we've talked about it, and it's like, you're not avoiding the world. You're just short-term escaping the world.
You're taking a break.
Taking a break, which is very different than avoiding the world.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing this to avoid, and you're not paying your bills, and you're not following your responsibilities as an adult who has a home, has animals to take care of and the like, then there's a problem. But, the animals get fed and watered. I get fed and watered. The lights are still on. The rent's paid, if you will. The mortgage is paid. Type thing. I touch base with friends and family. I keep a rather public vanilla life. And, you know, if there was ever an example of Marion the librarian in pony play, it would probably be me. Because people look at me and go, there's no way. And then if they find me, they go, oh, wow. Especially the Burning Man photos.
Which I haven't seen yet, so we need to talk about that at some point.
Oh, really? You haven't seen the Burning Man photos from 2012?
I don't think I have.
They're on FET.
Okay, I might have. I'll go look at them later.
Yeah.
Okay. Real person. Real life. Life is real.
Mm-hmm. Life is very real.
It's not all apple chips and sugar cubes around here.
Well, for me, it's M&Ms or grapes or peppermints.
Heard. Okay.
Those are the easy ones, especially plain M&Ms. Mini M&Ms are the easiest to suck up around your bit if you're sucking them from being palm fed.
Yeah.
Because, honest to God, that is the most horse-like thing that can turn erogenous in half a second. Because the tongue in the pocket of your palm, as you're looking up whatever candy, you can do so much to trigger your partner with that as the bottom. You want to talk about topping from the bottom as a pony, as an erogenous move. That is it.
Ooh.
All the ponies just take note.
You heard it here first. Well, not first, because I'm sure you've said that many times, but publicly here first.
I haven't actually shared that tiniest extra detail of looking in the pocket, but yeah. No, if you've never fed a horse treats, you always do a flat hand, so that way they don't eat your fingers because they think they're carrots. And you put the treat in the palm of your hand, and they will typically, with their lips and their tongue, take up the treat. Well, they have big lips and slobbery tongue. We have delicate lips and even a more articulated tongue, and we can have a whole lot of fun with that. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. Hold on. So I've been ending all of these podcasts with a little bit of a word association, quick word association.
Sure.
Fast responses.
Okay.
I've got a list of 8. And we'll see how this goes. Here we go. First one is gear.
Not enough.
Ritual.
Protocol.
Parade.
Favorite.
Tension.
Oh, I hate that word to begin with.
Yeah, that's why I put it in. It always gives a
pass.
Did you say pass?
I said pass.
You lazy bum. Guess the great old mare gets to be lazy. Okay. Bridle.
Favorite.
Show ring.
Performance.
Mane.
Not long enough.
And we keep making this joke because this word is terrible in everyday use, but grooming.
Aftercare.
There we go. Okay, pony. Yeah, you just snapped right at. Good. Good. Oh man, I cannot wait to have you back on because we've been talking for 2.5 hours and doesn't feel like it's been long enough at all.
No.
But thank you, Tindala, so much for coming onto this podcast. Before we go,
you're welcome, Kylian.
You're fair. Stop it. Before we go, where can people find you online or in person if that's your thing?
Online, you can find me at FetLife as Tindala. You can find me on Facebook also as Tindala Savalos. That's horse in Italian. And those are the 2 main ones that I check. I'm predominantly on FetLife these days. Facebook is open probably once a week. And if you are curious about other things, I'm also on Model Mayhem. with some of the pony play modeling and other modeling, also as Tindala.
Good to know.
I know.
Thanks for listening to Straight from the Horse's Mouth. I'm Kylian Denchornock. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to subscribe. Tune in next week for more. And as always, thanks for listening.